know, I feel just heaps better knowing that our lives are in your capable hands. We're all gonna die.
Okay, here's a look at MPG-15 Transformers Masterpiece Cybertron Rattle, which is their version of a Masterpiece scaled Rattrap. So here you could see what the front of the box cover for the actual box looks like. And you could see the back has all your warning words and stuff. The side, the Transformers Masterpiece MPG-15 Cybertron Rattle. The other side, same thing. The top, pretty much the same thing with the Takata and Hasbro logo. Bottom, the same as the top. So that is a look at the box cover for the actual box. And when you open it up, here is now the actual box for the figure. So here you could see the nice packaging design with that nice silver painted, I don't know what you call it, but yeah, it has that nice silver for the MPG logo, the nice green stripe there, the Takata Tomy. This is the T-Spark line. So yeah, I'm just pointing them all out just to appreciate the packaging design. That is something I touched on a little bit in school just because I have to know all aspects of product design. But yeah, I didn't really focus on it. So I can appreciate how well this is done. Product images, robot mode, alt mode, and then stuff in Japanese that I forgot how to read. And then we come to the back, more stuff in Japanese. I unfortunately don't know how to read. But you get your typical product images. So first we get group shot of the other Maximo figures that we got so far, and then some features using the adapters, and then also that scene from the cartoon when, you know, they're riding Rhinox, and then all the accessories that you get with the figure, and then yeah, the funny heads. And then this is also cool. They also gave you that feature from the cartoon where, I don't know, some kind of grenade or something stored in his arm. And then just the beast mode. I don't know what it says. I'm really upset that I forgot how to read all of that. And then when you come and take a look at the side of the box, you get the product image in robot mode. The other side, just like I thought, you get the product image in alt mode. Top of the box, I forgot what they call this, but yeah, it has that nice silver for the logo text there. And the bottom, your warning words and stuff in Japanese that I forgot to forgot how to read. So that is a look at the box.
That'll teach you to mess with the rat.
And here is a look at everything out of the box. So now let's go over them, starting off first with my favorite, the bio card. So here you could see the nice artwork of Rattrap. And on the back, you could see your typical product images, robot mode, alt mode, the tech specs, and his bio in Japanese that I can't read because I forgot how to read all of that. But yeah, this is really nice. And then the instructions. So first, I'm just gonna vent out my complaint that some of you already know. I really hate these open up sheets because you could see this is really functionally hard to work with, opening this all up. They really should have went back to those booklet style because yeah, it's easier to work with. And here I'm purposely doing it this way just to emphasize my point so you could see just how difficult it is. So here you could see the product images, all the accessories that this comes with. And then I don't know what this is, but it looks like there's some kind of adjustments or something, or it's showing you kind of like how you can articulate the head. And something down here with his tail. the articulation, his mouth does open and stuff. And then when we come over here, you could see the steps for the transformation. And yeah, it's hard to capture all of these things. And then you need to flip it over to the other side, because there's more steps to the transformation here. And then how many steps are there all together? Let's see, we need to come to the other side. It looks like you see how hard this is? It looks like there's 32 steps for the transformation. And then here they're showing you the accessories here, the gun, how you could store that, and in his forearms he has those grenades or something. And then here they show you the adapter, so you can have him attached to Optimus riding. And then if you have one of the other figures that come with the stand, you can also attach it there. So yeah, I'll point those things out later. But yeah, I wanted to torture you a little bit just to emphasize my point in what I mean when I said that this is functionally this does not work really well, Takata. So now we can come back down here and take a look at these accessories. So real quick, here's the two adapters that you can attach. Show those off later. And then here I need to point out a couple of things. Here's the two heads, and I already swapped it out, because this one where the whiskers are kind of sculpted and painted on came already attached, and this one's the alternate version, which I swapped out because you can only really use this in the alt mode, because you need to transform the head, and unfortunately these whiskers don't fold up, so transforming it. So yeah, this is only good for the alt mode. So that's why or his beast mode, that's why I swapped it out. But this one initially comes on the figure, and then here's the alternate face with some nice whiskers there. And then here that also came inside here for storage was his blaster. And look at this. This is really a nicely sculpted, very tune accurate gun. So yeah, for those people, if you know who I'm talking about, that really likes all this extra detail, I mean, yeah, you could see how those people would be really happy. And I don't disagree and you know, I completely agree. All this extra sculpted detail, all this paint and stuff, even with the Maximal logo on there, looks really, really nice. So this is done really well. And then the other two accessories that this comes with, let's do it this way. It's always easier when I come down, so you could zoom in and you could see he does have these two alternate face plates. I don't know what the difference is. They pretty much look the same to me. But yeah, that's a look at everything that you get. So now let's take a closer look at Rattrap.
A bit tacky. You never had taste, did you, kid? Now this is what class is all about. Call me Rattrap.
So first, let's zoom in and take a closer look at how nicely sculpted it is. The little highlight there, the white on the eyes, done really well. And then his mouth, you could see nicely sculpted, nicely painted. Even on the top, his teeth up here also. These whiskers that I told you is only good in the alt mode. Yeah, look at this texture and the paint that's kind of like blending and fading out. Done really nice. And you come down to his feet, also nicely sculpted, nicely painted. this doesn't bother me because, yeah, I don't know if that's too inaccurate or not, but yeah, it is part of the transformation, and it does kind of look like he is a transformer just from that little robot pieces sticking out there. So this is really nice. Now, in terms of the articulation, so first his head's kind of stuck in this position until you bend it down so you can untab it. And then we have some room to bend his head down, not really up, but just to look down a little bit. And then he can rotate his head side to side so you can give some character. I'm laughing because every time I'm doing this, I'm also thinking I can literally hear his voice from the cartoon as I'm looking at this figure. I mean, he was such a character. That's probably why it stands out so much. And then you could see a lot of articulation here with the limb joints. So first you could see it does rotate forward and back, and you could see the hinge there, so it can go out to the side. And then you could see the hinges here, so it can go forward and back. And then you could see the little swivel here, so his paws can rotate. And then you could see there's a hinge here, so it can go up and down as well, so you can get a good amount of articulation. So I'm purposely pointed those things out so you could see how I figure out how to transform figures, because I look for all of these things, and we all know what, by seeing this, that it should go this way. We all know that that pin, it goes this way. And then you could see the mushroom tab, well, you can't see the mushroom tab, but you know it's a mushroom tab, and that's why it swivels. So you can kind of figure those things out. There's no tabs or slots, so yeah, until you open it up. But those are other ways I figure out how to figure out how to transform figures. And then when you come to the back, you could see, and then here you also know by what you would expect. You would expect his legs to go forward and back. So of course it does, and then you don't know until you pull it out a little bit, and then you can see this is on a double hinge. And so yeah, obviously this makes sense that this is due to the transformation, but you can also use it for extra articulation if you want. And then there is some side to side with the thigh, and then more hinges here, so you can kind of figure out how these articulate. They just go forward and back, both up here and down here. And then unfortunately no articulation with the feet back here, but that's okay. And then the tail, so here you could see it does swivel, and then you could see all these hinges. There's a lot of these, so 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4, yeah, so you get 4 points of articulation with the tail rotation. So all things considered, there's a lot of good articulation for this. And then when you make some adjustments, you such as, I think it showed you on the instructions that I tortured you to see, you can pull this out. And up here it is a double joint, so you can use that double joint to bring this up even more so that you can get this out of the way. And then you could bend his legs down. I'm laughing because I'm already thinking of scenes when he was standing up, such as, oh yes sir, and yeah, something like that. But yeah, it's funny. And then you can get all these cool extra articulations like this too. You can get him kind of like holding his hands. You can get a lot of cool poses out of this figure. This is really cool. You could bend his head down and then push it back a little bit. So yeah, I really like this figure a lot. And I was trying to figure out why exactly do I like this so much. In terms of the transformation, I mean, this one is easier to transform than all of their other Beast Wars Masterpiece figures. But I think a lot of this has to do with the character. I mean, this character stands out so much. I mean, it's hard not to like him because of that. This guy is just so funny. And then the second one would be Waspinator too, which, yeah, we need a masterpiece of that. But yeah, I'm just sharing a lot of things because yeah, I really like this figure. So here is, let's straighten him out a little bit with all that good articulation. So here is a look at Rattrap in his alt mode.
Well, that's just prime.
So, this is your first day on the job or what?
Shut up, Rattrap.
Oh, yes, sir. You know, I feel just heaps better knowing that our lives are in your capable hands. We're all gonna die.
And now for some comparisons. Here he is with the original Kenner version of Rattrap. So here you could see the difference between these two. And yeah, there's definitely a big difference in what is more tune accurate. Just like the original G1, the toy doesn't match the cartoon and the cartoon doesn't match the toy. But yeah, here you could see the difference between the original version. Let's put him back there. And then after that, there was the generations. And I always like to share things, so I'm just sharing that I remember being at BotCon on the last day, Sunday, and I saw it, and I don't know what retailer it was, but I was very happy that he actually sold this to me for regular retail price. So that was surprising, because normally, yeah, you have all your retailers charging you more for figures, you know, at the conventions and stuff. But yeah, he sold it to me for a regular price. And just for a close-up look, yeah, you could see the difference between these two. Yeah, this one definitely looks a little bit more menacing. So there's definitely a difference in the design style. And then after that, there was the transform element, and I think it's Robot Toys. Yeah, I hope they do give us a Rattrap, because trying to figure out how to transform this was really a pain. I mean, I did have to figure out how to transform the other ones, but yeah, it was pretty intuitive, pretty easy, because this is basically a shell former. But this one was a little bit more involved, and some, I don't want to say clearance issues, but yeah, certain things need to be folded up just to be able to tuck all of his limbs in there. But yeah, I thought I'd show you the difference. And also, look at the color. Why is it yellow instead of that pinkish flesh color? But yeah, here's a look at the transform element version. And then after that, there was the Kingdom version, which I did not want to get because, you know, I have the transform element. And you could see they're about the same size. And this one looks a little bit more like a Rattrap from the cartoon than this one. Looks like a real rat that doesn't really look all that good in my opinion. But yeah, here you could see the difference between these two. And so yeah, just one final look. So let's bring all of these out together so you could see. And this was my masterpiece fill-in, but now that I got an official masterpiece, this is another figure that's going into my collection of figures I need to give away and stuff like that. So yeah, here's a look at all the different versions of the Rattrap that we got so far. So yeah, you could see what this looks like. And with the adapter, the bigger one, you can simply attach this to Rattrap on the bottom. You could see the two slots there, and you could see this one, the two tabs this way, and then you just simply tab that in, and this tabs in very securely, unlike the other one in robot mode. You could see it easily tabs in, and there's a slot where you can attach this to Optimus if you have the Optimus. So let me bring that out.
On my back, quick!
Okay, make like a bird!
Can't! The Energon blast will fry my circuit permanently. Just hold on tight.
And here, with that adapter, You could see Rattrap is on Optimus.
Oh, I really hate this.
Calm down. We're here.
Man, I still don't see why I gotta be the one to get carried like a sack of rusty nuts. Man, oh man, if I wanted to fly, I would have become a bat, not a rat.
It was the fastest way, and will you stop wiggling?
And for some options, you can actually have Rattrap attached to Optimus in his robot mode. And here I'll just show you, since I didn't show you how it attaches. You need to pull down that little tab on Optimus's back, and you just tab that in. And that holds him pretty securely, except that hinge kind of swivels. So you kind of need to rotate Rattrap's arms around so he's holding Optimus just like the cartoon. And also, this isn't in the instructions, but if you have the display stand that comes with the Dinobot, you could see down here on Optimus, there's a little port there, and you can attach this. And this holds in pretty securely. It's just getting it in there is a little hard, trying to capture this all on camera. But just letting you know, you can put it in there. And then you can get some cool poses out of this. So you could see what this looks like. Optimus riding, or Rattrap riding Optimus. And yeah, you just need, that hinge here is a little bit in the way, so maybe you kind of need to cheat there a little bit. And this is kind of cool. Let's see if we can get a better view here this way. So yeah, now you can kind of capture the scenes from the cartoon when he was flying, carrying Rattrap. So this is actually kind of cool, but you kind of need the display stand that came with Dinobot. So yeah, here's a look at the adapter. And for another comparison, here's Rattrap with his fellow Maximals that we have so far. So now let's zoom in and take a closer look, starting off with Rattrap with his whiskers. And you could see this is really nicely sculpted, nicely proportioned, nicely painted, all that good stuff. And it's also the same with Optimus Primal, very tune accurate. And when we come down here, also Rhinox, look at this really nicely sculpted head with the details from the horns. And if we can come down to the bottom, you could see he does have some nicely sculpted, painted teeth and a mouth and gums. And then over here, Cheetor, the same thing with those whiskers and the teeth and the gums. Look at those eyes. Look at the paint. All really nicely sculpted. This is why these are called your masterpiece. And back here, you could see there's Tigatron, who's missing his girlfriend Air Razor, which we need another masterpiece of. And then coming all the way over here, we got last Dinobot, a really heroic character. Also, look at this, nicely sculpted. Look at those eyes, gives real character. The teeth, the tongue, all nicely sculpted, nicely painted. Look at those claws, nicely painted. Yeah, you can argue it doesn't clean up very well back there, but you know, it's consequence of the engineering of the transformation, which is needed in order to have these all be transforming Beast Wars masterpiece figures. So here's a look at some of the other Maximals all together with Rattrap.
You know, I feel just heaps better knowing that our lives are in your capable hands. We're all gonna die.
Now we can go ahead and transform Rattrap from his beast mode to his robot mode.
Rattrap Maximals! demise!
And here is a look at Rattrap in his robot mode. So here you could see what he looks like all around. And he is really back heavy. So here I'll just show you how I try to compensate for that by bringing down his tail so I can use it as a kind of like a tripod. Because like I said, his back causes some issues with the balance. So he is a little back heavy. But here you could see, yeah, what he looks like. There is no animation model to compare this with, but you can take some screenshots from the cartoon and you could see that they did a really nice job capturing the toon aesthetics. So now let's zoom in and take a closer look at the figure. And every time I look at him, I literally can hear his voice from the cartoon. So yeah, you could see it's a nicely sculpted head, and it does use the light piping, so you have to have some light on the back to have his nice transparent red eyes shine through. And then as you go down, you could see all the nicely sculpted painted detail, even on the forearm, the Maximo logo there. And down here, the thighs nicely sculpted, nicely painted. The knees, same thing, nicely sculpted, nicely painted. The credit really doesn't go to the toy. The credit really should go to the character designers who actually designed the character, all the nice detail here. I think they did a really nice job with this character. And here I'm just going to share some stories. You know, my first background, you know, so I studied animation, and there was a character design class for animation that I was taking, and there I drew like a gorilla and a rat as, you know, my characters. And then my teacher was criticizing me, saying, why is a rat the same size as a gorilla? So yeah, I think you all know what I was referring to, but yeah, he obviously didn't know about Beast Wars, but I just wanted to share that because I thought it was funny. So yeah, but anyways, you could see the figure is really nice. And now let's just go over some of the articulation really quick. His head is on a ball joint, so it can go up and down. It can rotate side to side. It can go all around, kind of like the cartoon. And then you could see his shoulders. He does have a double jointed shoulder joint, so it can go up really high. He does have bicep swivel. He does have a double jointed elbow. And his hands or fingers, they can open up, but yeah, it's kind of limited. And he does have the rotation on the hand, and the wrist can open up out like so. And then you come to his waist. He does have waist rotation, but no ab crunch. And you could see his thighs, they can go forward and back. He does have thigh rotation. He does have a double jointed knee, and he does have toe tilt. and he literally has a toe tilt up and down, but there's also an extra articulation here. You could see the foot comes out here. I think that's kind of to help with the balance and standing without the tail. So yeah, you could see you can actually get him in poses without using the tail as another leg or a tripod. But yeah, here's a look at that. And then in robot mode, he does have some features here on the forearm. And first of all, I'm just pointing things out. It's a little hard to open, but they did give you a little gap here, so it does make it easy to open. However, trying to get this I don't know what you call it, they're like these little time grenades or something, but it's really hard to get out. So yeah, this is where you need a spudger or something to be able to get this out. And let me bring his tail down to get him standing, because this is where, yeah, you need something to get this out. So this was not designed very well to get this piece out. But here I wanted to take up your time just so I could show you what it looks like. And you need to be careful because it's so small. You might accidentally lose it by having it fall. So you could see, here's his little, I don't know, hand grenade or something. So you could see it's nicely sculpted. And you could see the tab is a little off center. So you know it goes in only a certain direction. And I don't want to take up more of your time showing you this, but I will let you know that this is also on the other side as well. So you could see the same thing. You can open it up, and then there's another hand grenade on that side. So that's kind of a cool. And then there is the adapter for here. And here first, this doesn't really tab in very securely here, but you could see there's 2 tabs and then 2 slots there, so you could tab it in. And unfortunately, you cannot use this unless you have the display stand. And here is the display stand. So here you could see the adapters attached to the figure. And then there is a little slot there for the post up here. And here it does tab in pretty securely. But when you tab it in, oh, let's see, come up a little bit so you could see. Yeah, this is probably, this might come out unless you're being really careful holding it in. You can get this to tab in, but you know, I guess I'll leave it this way. I was gonna show you that it's probably better to attach the adapter to this display stand first and then tab the figure in. So here with the display stand, you can pose Rattrap in some cool jumping poses, and you can have something like that. So this is kind of cool. But I'll just share my thoughts. I think this display stand is probably good for air razor that we need a masterpiece of. But yeah, there's a look at some of the features and accessories that come with the robot mode. And let me put his tail down just to make it easier to get him to stand. So now let's do some comparisons. So first comparison, here he is next to the original Kenner version. And here I'll just show you that I did kind of custom paint this to be a little more tune accurate. So yeah, you could see I was kind of obsessed with this tune accuracy from way back then. So here you could see what these two look like. And I actually think the original Rattrap looks good in robot mode. And here I'll just point out some things, you know, about the figure. This was a pretty cool design. This is kind of like a automorph gimmick where you pull the tail is like on a spring, so when you pull the tail, the shell, Rattrap's a shell former, opens up and then Rattrap comes out. So this is actually a really pretty cool figure. So here's a look at Rattrap, the original G1. And then I don't know what came in order, but here is the Generations Rattrap, and this was my masterpiece fill-in until I got the official masterpiece. So here you could see the difference between the two scales pretty well. It's just unfortunate when they made this they didn't make like a lot of the other figures, but we did end up getting the Kingdom the Beast Wars figure in the Kingdom line. So yeah, either way, this was my masterpiece fill-in that now it's gonna go in my collection of stuff I need to give away. But yeah, this was pretty cool. But I'll just speak to this, you know, when I'm figuring out how to transform all of these. This one, just the way they engineered the transformation, how things open and fold up to go in a specific place to look the way that it does. I think this was designed pretty good. So yeah, I just wanted to share that I think this was a pretty cool figure. And then I think what came next was the transform element version. So here you could see up close. I could hear his voice, what he looks like. I don't really like how the paws and the tail are this yellow color when it should be like this pinkish flesh color. But you know, as far as the figure goes, I think this was done pretty well for a legend scale figure. And I'm trying not to compare it to what I think robot toys would give us, because when you look at all the robot toys figures that they already made, I could just imagine how much better that the robot toys would look compared to the transform element. But in all fairness, you know, this figure is still pretty good. It's just a little challenging trying to figure out how to fold in the limbs, because yeah, it's a little tight and to get things to go in. But anyways, here's a look at that. And then for another comparison, here is the Kingdom version Rattrap. So yeah, it's a mainline retail figure, so you know, it's supposed to be kept simple, especially for, I don't know what class this is, a legend scale. So yeah, I think it was done pretty well, nicely sculpted, proportions are good. So yeah, it's a nice figure. And I actually did not want to get this because I had this, because you could see they almost scale the same. But then early on, I'm making the mistake of listening to people who's leaving comments criticizing me. You know, if I have some of the other Beast Wars Kingdom figures, that, you know, I should just get this and the Rhinox, with the gray Rhinox, which should be brown, that the Takata gave us the brown version, the 2-pack. But yeah, either way, I'm just telling you, yeah, sometimes you have to yeah, not be influenced by people's comments. Yeah, you just have to stick with what you like, what your preferences and stuff like that. But yeah, here I'm putting these guys up here so we can get a nice group shot so you could see what all the Rattraps looks like. I don't know if this is all the Rattraps that were made, but this is all the Rattraps that I have in my collection. Oh, there was that 2-pack. I forgot what it was called. You know, the Takata, the 2-pack of the Beast Wars figures. That one was a little bit more tune accurate, just like their Rhinox was brown instead of the Kingdom version that was gray. But anyways, I'm starting to ramble. So here's a look at some comparisons. And now for some more comparisons, let's bring out some of the original, not the original, but some of the other masterpiece Beast Wars figures, starting here with Optimus. So here you could see what he looks and scales like. I laugh because this is exactly what I was telling you when I was taking the character design for animation, and this is what I was thinking about. And the teacher was criticizing me, saying, you know, how is a rat the same size as a gorilla? And I didn't say it, but yeah, if you know about Beast Wars, then yeah, they already did character designs like this. But yeah, here's a look at comparison next to Optimus. And for another comparison, here he is next to Cheetor. And this is another figure that's kind of hard to stand because, you know, he's kind of like on heels. So you just have to get these positioned in a good stance. And yeah, here you could see what these three look like next to each other. That episode where Cheetor got in trouble and then Rattrap came to save him. So yeah, that looks really nice. And then for another comparison, let's zoom out a little bit because yeah, he's really big and these guys have trouble standing, so you have to be careful not to knock them. But yeah, here he is next to, or with the Rhinox. So here now you could see what all these guys look like next to each other. This is a really nice looking set. And then for another comparison, let's see if I can get him. He's really big. Here he is next to Dinobot, and here, this is kind of cool because every time I think of, well, when I bring this out, I think about the many episodes where Rattrap and Dinobot were always fighting and arguing and bickering with each other. And the sword kind of fell off. So there's some like tolerance issues with a lot of these figures, like holding stuff, getting them to stand. It's a little challenging. But yeah, we need to zoom out a little bit so we can get a nice group shot of all these guys. So yeah, you could see what this looks like. So here is the season 1 of the Beast Wars character, but there was another masterpiece figure that they gave us, and that was Tigatron. And here I didn't know Tigatron was so big, so that's why I have to put Tigatron back there. If I can get some room here, because he's actually taller than Optimus, so I don't know if this scale is actually correct, because I also think Rattrap should be a little bit smaller. But yeah, you could see this what it all looks like next to each other. And here I'm trying to pay attention, being careful how to display these without knocking this all down all over the place. But yeah, here you could see this is a really nice looking set. We're just missing Air Razor, and then we can complete, what was it, season 1, season 2 of the Beast Wars character. Yeah, so this is really a nice set. And out of all of these, Rattrap is actually the easiest to transform. And I'm just letting you know, I literally took the time to figure out how to transform each one of these. And I'm telling you that just to let you know how much time I put into making these reviews, showing you all these comparisons. Yeah, because it's a lot of work. But I'll tell you, figuring out how to transform it, it's fun. I said this before, you know, trying to figure things out, how, you know, how things open, where they go, how they fold up. And then you can figure out things by looking for the parting lines, the hinges, and the tabs and the slots. So anyways, starting to digress. So here is a look at all of the Beast Wars Maximal characters that we have so far. And I'm just going to end my review here, giving you my final thoughts on this guy. And I laugh again because every time I zoom in, like, man, I literally can hear his voice. And actually, I forgot to show you, but, you know, they did give you the 2 alternate face plates. So, yeah, I could show you the images that I took already. But here, I'll just show you real quick if you wanted to take it out. They did, see, they're very thoughtful. There is a little slot there so that you can pull out his head. And then you can swap it out for one of the other heads. And I'm bringing this one because this one gives a little bit more character. So, yeah, that's the last thing. There's some cool features here that make sense. You know, the adapters, so you can have him riding Optimus. And you know, some of the, I don't know what you call those things, those bombs or something, his timing bombs and his forearms and stuff. Yeah, this is really a nice figure, nicely sculpted, nicely painted, nicely proportioned. The engineering for the transformation, I think, is done really well, easier than all of these other ones. This is really a fun figure. And for some reason, I don't know exactly why I really like this figure. I don't know if it's because the figure is done really well or if it's just because of the character. Because, yeah, this character stands out a lot, just like Waspinator, and that's another masterpiece that we need. But anyways, I'm starting to ramble again. So, yeah, that's my final thoughts on this figure. It's a really nice figure. I'm happy to have this in my collection. As you could see, it looks really nice, all of them together. And I don't give recommendations because if you want it, you'll get it. If you don't, you won't. But obviously, if you're a Beast Wars fan and you have collecting the Beast Wars masterpiece, then this is definitely one that you want to have and add to your collection. So that's it. That's my final thoughts and review for the MPG masterpiece Rattrap.
Yeah, thanks for nothing, comrades. I'm blowing this taco stand. Beast mode.